into something. I make do with that. Ain't here to small talk, don't need the chat. Know that I was made in the lab. The scientist screaming, oh my God. Give him swagger up, Tone Beach bar. Let him hit the streets, let them die. What I mean to be great when you at halftime. When you're 20 years old, never had a touchdown. When you lose a control, all your brother's been gone. He confused you alone, never earned you a dime. I got to go, I think I'm leaving. Place in the morning.
Backstage.
Hey, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to the JustSayN Podcast. We're broadcast out of DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas metropolitan area, and we're very excited, honored, and privileged. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., along my lovely co-host. In her absence, Larissa, who should be timing in soon. This is the brand new podcast that I'm part of, and we're excited to launch a new podcast, the JustSayN Podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of good things, a lot of conversations, a lot of meaningful conversations that's really going to enhance and build up our audience. You know, that's what it's all about. So I'm very excited, honored, and privileged to have a very special guest. Y'all was on the Walking This Ways podcast. Y'all now in the DFW, gearing towards autism and bringing awareness to autism to educate people who have children may deal with autism as well. So, ladies, how are y'all doing this morning? Welcome to the JustSayN Podcast, and go ahead and do yourselves.
I can't hear. Well, I can hear myself.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So we're doing pretty good. We've been really busy. And as are you. You started a new podcast. Congratulations. You're just as crazy as us, tackling on extra duties and jobs. Another one.
You know what? It's fun and it's exciting. Like I said, to partner up with Lo, my co-host, she's gonna be timing in soon. And like I said, to really take it to a whole nother level, the whole brand expansion. You know, still doing Walking This Ways, but also doing this as well. So I know y'all doing some great things in the DFW, especially with y'all mission, y'all nonprofit organization, autism, and that's something that we don't hear a lot, but it's something that y'all can truly educate us on to help bring it fast. So go ahead and talk about the organization. There she go.
Can you hear?
Oh, there she go.
I can't hear or see.
Just log back out and log back in, so we can see you.
Yeah, and we can hear you.
But I can't hear. That's the problem.
Log back out and log back in.
Okay.
While she's doing that, so yeah, you all right? Hello.
Nice to meet the show. I appreciate it. We really do.
Yes. So to tell you a little bit about us, you know, we've been in existence for a little while, but this year we're fully committed. We both love teaching. We're going hardcore into our nonprofit. Here, let me help her real quick. Log off.
Yeah. It's
not even. Yeah, turn yours way down.
There is a lot of echo noise, so it lets me know that you guys are in close proximity. And
there we go.
See, I just can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay!
Good. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead. Okay, so we have Miss Lindsay. Thank God. Hey.
I was trying to be all professional with my AirPods because we are in close proximity and it echoes.
It's okay. Cause look, I was looking at your facial expressions. You like, oh.
Hey, it's like working with kids, playing A, B, C, D.
Hey,
all
look,
of the G.
I'm telling you, I'm still trying to learn the basics of all this. So yeah, no, I get you. So definitely Miss Rowe and Miss Lindsay or Audrey.
Well,
would you prefer me to call you Audrey?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't
So
matter.
Miss Audrey, Miss Lindsay, go ahead and tell us about it. Either one of you guys can go first. Go ahead and tell us about what you guys do.
Would you like for me to go first? Or? Okay, so basically we try to create events for children with autism to come to within a community, but also with their typical peers. And the goal being that the typical peers learn like empathy and compassion and how to truly be inclusive, and the children with autism will kind of learn the social skills and how to just function out in the community, because we both have backgrounds in the clinic setting. So I've been in a speech clinic, private school, public school, and a private ABA, applied behavior analysis clinic. And so the problem that we saw a lot, and that we do see, is that in the clinic, you do good one-on-one in a controlled environment. In a school, you'll do well as well, but maybe like at home, we're actually applying it at the grocery store where it's not so controlled, or, cheese or movie theaters, things like that we take for granted. So we want to create those environments for kids with autism to come and learn, and also for their typical peers to learn empathy. Because what does awareness look like? What do you think when you think of awareness?
You know what? It's so funny that you mentioned that. Furman, you can jump in anytime. So my grandson, he is autistic. So this is a topic that really actually touched me, and I'm so glad we are speaking on this, because I feel like a lot of parents and a lot of children suffer from this, especially now. I don't know why. I'm going to ask you that question later on in the interview, but I feel like a lot of parents deal with a lot of children with autism, and they don't even realize that they are suffering from, well, I don't want to say suffering, they have autism. Let's just put it that way. They do not realize that. They do not understand the signs, and they just do not get it. As far as my personal experience with my grandson, he is the first. I have 3 grandchildren, but he's the only one that actually have autism, diagnosed autism. So funny. He's downstairs with the speech therapist right now.
Well, look at you go. See, you're already on top of it.
Well, it resonated with me what you just said, because to me, I've seen the effects. My daughter actually, although she lives in her own place, she decided to come back home to get more of direction and help from her parents.
Yes.
And it was needed, because what I have noticed when prior to her moving out, and oh God, I hope she don't mind. So prior to her moving out, and then prior to her, when she came back, I noticed a complete change in his behavior. It was worse. It was worse. And for him, we have learned that he is more of a child that mimics. He mimics a lot, everything, behavior, social dynamics, everything. That's what he does. His behavior.
So mimicking, so that brings back to our point, is that they learn best from their peers. And so that's why we do have typical peers, so they can mimic the correct behavior. Because if you're in a clinical, not correct, but the more acceptable, but the clinic, you're with nothing with kids that have autism. Your classroom, depending on your setting, you're with kids that have autism. So what are you doing? Mimicking those behaviors as well.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
Depending if they're good or bad behaviors. And when you look at mimicking, you look at a toddler-like behavior. So when you're first learning vocabulary and language, what do? You mimic. You ask your kids to say, look, pencil. What is it? Pencil. And they'll kind of say it in the same fluctuation as you. But mimicking is that first level of language development. But that's where you know that they're aware of their surroundings. And that makes you, that should alert you that, hey, we're able to learn. We're there. We get what's going on in our environment. Let's put them in an environment where we can learn good social skills. As much as we possibly can. We don't have control of every single environment, just like any typical kid. My kid can go to kindergarten, learn horrible behaviors just from, they get attention. A kid at school gets attention for those behaviors, come home, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? So while mimicking is a good thing, it's also a developmental thing. And it's also, that's why we want to create those experiences, those good experiences, those full, enriched social experiences where they can see appropriate social interactions and behaviors. Yeah.
I think I understood it though, and I hear what you're saying. What made me realize that me and his mom, and because we are a family, we raised, a village, okay, over here. But we noticed with his extreme behavior, it wasn't just regular mimicking.
No.
Fundamentally developing child. It was extreme.
And by behavior, you mean aggression?
No.
Just all of it. Aggression. Yeah. We noticed the stimming. There were certain behaviors that
it just wasn't typical.
Yes, it was not typical, and that was definitely a question that we had. Because he's been getting the help that he needs, we noticed that. Well, I have observed that he's so much better, and in this controlled environment, I noticed he is so much better. At his school, he's so much better. Like his mom have gone all out, and his dad too. Like his dad definitely have been such a great factor in his life. But his mom is the one who, well, let me get on this here. I guess that's something that,
that's a mom thing.
And sometimes dads are a little bit more in denial.
On it the park or something. It's gonna be like, no, let's go ahead and call these people, do this, get this here together.
Go ahead and get on the wait list.
I tell everyone right here at the door. I can't even stop him from coming in. Like,
yes, because we usually connect people with resources as well. And I tell parents, go ahead and get on the wait list. Even if you think that you might not want the service, it's better to be on the wait list. And by the time you finally get your appointment,
that's definitely
get the ball rolling.
We waited a long time to receive help, but it wasn't that long. And it's like I think it only took about 4 months.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Which is really short.
Yes. I mean,
I've seen it for a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been on the wait list for, specialists for just doctors for longer than that. So.
Yeah, I know. So for him to get that, he got that speech therapist when, we kind of really, actually, it probably was a little longer. We started getting him speech therapy, or people started coming in when he was 2. So maybe, it probably was that long, but we noticed he wasn't talking, he wasn't speaking, it was just different. And I hate to compare him with other children, but, because
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because children learn in different levels. But, it was definitely a concern, especially when I knew that he was stimming. We had this conversation. I knew he was stimming. I knew that the loud noises bothered him. It just was not typical for a child.
You don't see it in your everyday child. And even if you have single parents that don't have siblings, that haven't had any other, exposure to children, some don't pick up on it because they're not exposed to, they don't take them out in public, or they don't have family around, so they don't have a lot to compare it to. But then, then you rely on your pediatrician and your developmental norms.
Yeah.
That's why there are developmental norms like the checklist. So at 18 months, these are suggestions what they should be doing between 18 and 36 months. So when you go to that pediatrician visit and they're like, okay, well, do they do this? Do they do that? And you're like, no.
Missing too many.
And so once that's another way to, but like I said, I'm glad that you were able to catch that. But it had to have been quite severe enough, for you to.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. What do you suggest for parents that might go to their pediatrician? Because this is one thing that actually did happen in his situation. The pediatrician didn't catch it. It wasn't something that they discussed because there are a lot of doctors, and even just for adults, that will they forget about the bedside manner for patients. Definitely.
They write moms off a lot sometimes, saying like, oh, it's normal, he's a boy, they're sometimes delayed. But as a parent, so the best thing you can do is advocate for your child. Worst thing is they get tested and qualify for services to get help so they're not behind.
I can give you a couple examples. So like I said, when you're at a pediatrician's office, they're not there. That's not their, I guess, their realm of diagnoses. They're there to, look at strep throat and whatnot. Yes, they're also there to do the checklist and but we don't know how educated they are in certain areas.
It's not their specialty.
Right. And, when they're young, even so, under the age of 6, and you can assess a child and they might meet the criteria and totally DNQ, which means they do not qualify because of their age. It still might be in those developmental norm areas of, oh, well, they're high enough or they scored high enough. But then at 6, it changes significantly. So earlier on, it does make it very hard to diagnose. They don't want to overdiagnose. They don't want to say, hey, your kid's autistic. But then you do have those pediatricians that, for example, I had a church member, friend of mine, come up to me and say, my pediatrician said he's just a boy. It's fine. That's how he's going to act at home. He's comfortable with you. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not I can't stand that answer.
Yeah.
Because there are boys that I've seen in my own child and other boys, they don't all act the same. And it's not, you can't compare apples to apples. And so when that does happen, what I suggest is to say, well, I believe something is wrong. And is there any way that you can point me towards, a pediatric developmental psychologist? Or can you get me in touch with a specialist that
Lindsay,
is that?
I want to piggyback on what you said. You didn't say I think, you said I believe, or use those statements where you're like, I know something is off.
I feel like
in the right direction. Like I know, I believe, instead of I think or maybe. Those are questionable statements. It seems to be more like I know, I need, guide me in that direction. And me and Lindsay, we're actually very good at helping and guiding parents and being that bulldog if they need us to. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, and a lot of parents do feel kind of like, okay, well, doctors know best. Well, okay, they might, but they might not.
Yeah.
Same with me. I might know what's best for my kid at home, but at school, I might not know what's best. And so, like I said, the best thing is to reach out to don't go down rabbit holes on Google, but reach out and ask your pediatrician, are there any specialists that, I could get information that, that do work with kids with developmental delays, or they actually have access to 2 different scales that are checklists, or can I have, hold on, let me finish. Checklists that basically you can ask for that are rating scales for autism. So you can request that from the pediatrician's office. It's either the Kaufman or what is the other one? The Hawthorne. Kaufman or Hawthorne. And you can request that from your pediatrician. And does it have to go back to her? No. Can you take it to somewhere else? Absolutely. And then I also would recommend reaching out to ECI and Head Start. So your government, your government-owned programs, funded programs that help with that.
ECI is amazing.
Education and Head Start are the 2 government-funded.
ECI is baby to 3 years old.
2. They start at 2.
Surgery. Oh.
Mm-hmm. And they'll help with in-home therapies. They'll help with diagnosis. They'll help with getting them into programs, getting on lists. So if pediatrician doesn't work, reach out to ECI, to Head Start, even your local school district. You can go at 3 years old, you can go into walk-in speech therapy. You can go to the district and say, hey, I want a diagnosis. And they
with the BCI, it is from birth to 3.
Okay, birth to 3 is ECI. And then Head Start, I think, is
3 is then it goes to the school after that.
Okay. So at 3, you're able to get services through the school. So you literally just have to go to the public school, that area that you live in, and ask for an evaluation.
Well, ECI usually transfers over because they're already on your side.
But if you,
ECI, it makes the rest like easier because that paperwork transfers over to the school and such. And
But that's the starting point too. So if you don't catch it at ECI, you can catch it at 3 with your local school district.
Okay. So what do you say to parents that might not, or how do you encourage parents that might come to you because I know that as parents, we all want our children to be okay. That is the goal. We want them to be okay, mentally, physically, all of that. But I know there are parents that don't want to admit that their children might need additional help. And there are parents like that. I've met several parents that does not want to admit that their children need some help. What do you say about that? What's your opinion about that?
Well, I always try to say, even with an autism diagnosis, it doesn't mean that it's like wrong. It just means you're going to have to go about things differently. And the sooner you get the resources and the support, the more likely they can be on grade level or socially, emotionally with their typical peers or not as delayed. So early intervention is like the best, because I had a friend ask me, well, what if they diagnose my kid? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, they will give you tools and resources to be successful with your child. And the earlier, the better. And I just say it's one more person rooting for your child to be successful.
That's great. I love that.
A lot of parents that, like I said, are very reluctant to a diagnosis or a label, or even to acknowledge that something is wrong. Eventually, and unfortunately, they go to school, and then it's like, okay, someone else is going to bring it up and say, hey, this is where we're at. Well, unfortunately, they're 8 years old now. But that's why I personally, if you can develop a relationship with a person on a personal level, it makes that conversation that is very difficult so much easier to say, hey, has the doctor said anything about like his speech, or has the doctor said anything, mentioned this? Because coming from an educator, I'm like, perspective and professional, I feel like I can say that, and I'm in the right line to say that, because I feel like it is necessary for me. Like, if I don't, I feel like I'm doing somebody an extreme disservice.
And that's my go-to as well.
Bring out the elephant in the room. So simply saying, look, labeling, getting tested is not a bad thing. My personal child, she's currently getting some services that she didn't qualify for, but would I disregard one-on-one or small group support in an area? No. Would I turn that away? No. But a label, all a label is to say, hey, my kid needs a little extra support.
That's what I was going to say.
And what is speech therapy, even if they don't need it? Say they don't, the parent says they don't need it. Why not? It's not going to hurt them.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anything.
That's what I say.
Why not try?
That's what I say. Worst thing is, and then it's the label, basically, I also tell people it's to get supports that are needed. It doesn't mean that it's not the 90s or the 80s or anything like that. Like, it's just saying your child may need extra support to be successful in the setting.
Here's my special guest, guys.
Hi, handsome.
Say hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Oh, I'm so glad. You are handsome.
Yeah, I didn't want him to start beating at the door because he will.
Hey, listen, my kids are all gone, so they would be.
Yeah. So can you be quiet and just listen? Okay, see? It has really improved his behavior, but he's very attached to his grandma. Super attached.
Well, who's not?
Detachment, right? Because you love me? Okay, because I love you. Okay. So be quiet and listen, okay? Okay. Go
But
ahead.
yeah,
Interrupt.
No, the earlier the better. Yeah, the earlier the better. The labels mean nothing. Support develop relationships with those people so that they feel comfortable around you. So, I mean, they're able to either reach out to you or you feel comfortable enough to, point out the elephant in the room, and let them know that it is okay. It's not and I told Audrey this before I had my first child, that I would prefer my child in a special ed room like mine, because at least I know she'd be getting one-on-one instruction and good instruction, like foundational stuff.
Extra support.
And it was true. It's true. Like, they don't teach formation of handwriting anymore. They don't teach how to properly glue or cut, or no, they want you to write novels in second grade, and they can't, so it was kind of a joke, but kind of not, so I'm one of those, like, shoot, if they need that support, let's do it. But I know a lot of parents are very reluctant and don't understand, don't come from the education background. So I encourage parents to really think about what it looks like for their child later on in life. And at the end of the day, I always tell my parents, I want them to be independent. I want them to be strong. I want them to be successful, and loved, and know they're loved. And as long as they have their wants and needs met and are happy, at the end of the day, that's really all that matters.
Yes. It's
because I want to.
Go ahead, Furman.
Yeah, now go ahead and finish, because I want to chime in on how autistic children are at higher risk as well. Go ahead and finish. I want to chime in on that, because we see a lot of our young children losing their lives with autism by being in these environments like daycare, schools, and stuff like that. But go ahead and finish. I want to chime in on that also.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely when you have a diagnosis, it puts you at higher risk. Like I said, you have 9% higher chance of having a police interaction. That's why we do the community policing. And also, what I see is even more than like neglect or abuse is the elopement, which is escaping, and finding them near a river or in a pond or in a lake. We've had like 3 locally this summer that I can recall off the top of my head. And so to me, the biggest risk for kids with autism, like with neglect or death, is like the drowning situation.
Safety.
The kids, I know one particular family, they like locked the doors and bolted it up, and then the kid found a way to open up the window to. And kids with autism just are attracted to water. I don't know if it's because of the reflection, the cause and effect, but it's just one of those things. Whenever a kid with autism usually goes missing, it's always like, oh man, hope they don't find them, in water. And like every time, they really do find them in water. Whenever they go missing, it's never. Right. You don't hear success stories, I guess, but they're always found in water. When you get an update, that's the update you get. So
safety is a definite concern with elopement, and when they don't know how to navigate the world on their own, like they could, so I taught special needs swim lessons for a while before I had kiddos.
We both have.
Yeah. And so what we worked on was safety around the water, safety, how to get in, how to get out, how to float on your back, how to feel just comfortable around the water, and just those safety things. Because you want your kid to swim, but do you want them to be safe around water? And no.
Someone piggyback on that. I had a kid. I used to push him in the water while he's sitting on the edge, the elemental shock, and I'd prompt him to turn around and either go to the nearest ladder or exit, or go to where he could touch. But I literally just push him in, and then at first I physically have him turn around and then kind of crawl, or elbow, tummy, knees. But I've been in all those scenarios, like she said, safety. Like, what happens if I do get in the water? Find the nearest exit, find where you can touch. But it was really fun. It's kind of like if you're having a bad day with the kid, and kind of like, let me get back at you. Boom, we're going to go for safety.
Don't go and shove a kid in the pool, though.
Yeah. I mean, with this one right here, he has zero fear, and that's
a lot of them do.
That I'm scared of, like, no fear, and I'm just like, and his pain tolerance, I noticed.
Oh, there's it is that has to do with mirror neurons in their brain. But that's a whole nother topic. But yes, their pain tolerance, like I had a kid that would put his hand on a hot skillet and just leave it there. And this is at night. And so those types of things, like, you know how they have the new beds that are like enclosed now, that keep your kids safe because they get out of the window or they go into the kitchen and get into knives. They can, I mean, there's so many safety things.
My biggest thing is the water, though, because that's how that's usually most of the stories in. So I try to encourage every parent to do swimming classes when you have an AU kid or really any kid. And like I said, me and her both offer it. We have pools and we're willing to go and help because that is a legitimate concern for me.
Especially when they have no fear. Yeah, it's a really good way to develop fear. And I'm not joking. That sounds horrible, but it develops a little bit of fear and confidence because you're there one-on-one with them, and they don't necessarily know what to do, but it will if so. Like you said, you're not just going to push them in without being completely aware of what you are actually doing, and it's a teaching technique.
Right. So kids with special needs are going to be in higher risk situations more than their typical peers, and so it's our jobs parents, teachers, to prepare them for those situations and how to respond. And so swimming was just one example of it, but that's why we do community policing because they have a higher risk than their typical peers to be in high risk situations. And that can be anything from bullying and not being able to speak out,
leaving the house,
in water, police interactions.
Leaving the house, going for walks.
I was working with a client, and someone's like, "I should call the cops because he's throwing a fit." And it's
I do want to piggyback on the whole policing aspect.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Law enforcement.
Yes, because we both have law enforcement backgrounds. I, for one, used to teach a mental health class for officers for the department we were in and for surrounding agencies. And one of the topics and scenarios that we helped with training was autism, because a lot of people don't believe it, but there are a lot of autistic people that go to jail. They are in jail. They're half of the time they're not isolated or separated. They are in there with literally regular inmates.
They don't look different,
but you can definitely tell. And you can tell, and the other inmates can tell.
Absolutely, and they are preyed upon.
Oh, most definitely. That's one of the saddest stories I remember. While I don't even want to talk about it, but it's really sad. And as officers, I think within the jail setting, you have to be vigilant when looking, when just paying attention to inmates in general, especially with the most vulnerable population. You have to be able to recognize that and get them help as soon as possible.
And I feel like that's a choice, and to be educated.
Yes.
And I'm not aware. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge of that. Of that setting. However, being aware that an inmate does have something going on, or that they need maybe not to be in the general population.
So that's why we like to create what we do with typical peers and kids that have autism, because eventually they say children are the future. No, they're the now, because these are the kids that become adults that go to prison later. And so by having these social skills pop-ups, camps, going to Chuck E. Cheese, going to fall festivals, and both peers engaging with each other, that can also prevent the high-risk situations that put you in jail later on. Whether it's the fear of the unknown, because a lot of people fear what they don't know. I mean, women, witch trials, Black people, you're fearful because you weren't around it. So we, have them come together. So that does reduce those high-risk chances of them maybe getting into an argument, or a kid that maybe was never around someone with autism and now is a teenager, and maybe they use the person with autism as a puppet because they don't. not with cruel intention, but like, oh, they do whatever I say, just bossing them around. Whereas I feel like you can learn empathy at a young age. Like, oh, they're a little bit different and can be taken advantage of. Like, maybe I can be a friend and model how to respond. Because, like, for example, let me use Lindsay's daughter. She was not mean to one of the kids at Chuck E. Cheese that we recently had, but she didn't know necessarily how to engage with this particular child. And so she kind of got all shy. And like I said, she wasn't mean. She just didn't know how to engage.
Right.
Oh, I know there's something different. What am I supposed to do? I was like, just go say hi to her. And she's like, hi, I'm Scarlett. And then the other girl, and then she just went up and talked to her. So, it's the fear of the unknown, but
we provide those. We provide that coaching too in those situations during these events. That okay, she was in a wheelchair, and that's kind of when they are physically a little different too. Keep in mind my daughter's 4, but I mean, like, still developing tolerance and acceptance and understanding at the age of 4. Just think about how beneficial that is for both sides in that exposure and the teachable moments that are built into just their regular
naturalistic in the community.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I can only speak on my personal experiences because I don't like speaking on other parents' experiences because I don't live in their household. So I can just only speak on mine. But I have my grandson, I have my granddaughter. My granddaughter does not have autism, but my nephew does. And his autism is, I think my grandson that you just met is more on the Asperger's spectrum type of thing. But my nephew, I believe it's a little bit more severe. Now, most people will think because he was literally reading a freaking novel at the age of 2.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, it was like that. For people who don't understand it,
no, they're word calling. They're word calling.
It's amazing. They're like, oh my God, he's 1, he's 2, and he's reading a novel he's never read before in his life. But there's a difference. But so I brought that up to mention this. With the grandson you just met, his behavior is more of an issue. Whereas my nephew, his behavior is not. So a lot of people within the family, they're like, oh, well, they compare them so much.
Rude.
Oh my God.
Rude.
I mean,
it's very rude.
Yeah. I mean, that's like comparing neurotypical siblings too. I mean, like, okay. One of my kids is naughty and one of them's an angel. So yeah. However, I don't need your
I'm just listening.
Opinion on it.
Stay in your lane.
Go ahead.
I mean, but I can tell you.
Go ahead.
There's 3 levels of autism when you get an autism diagnosis. And I'm not saying this as any sort of doctor or any of that. This is experience-based only. Now, the rating scale, yes, it's true. It goes from 1 to 3, and 3 is most severe. Now, the reason that your grandson could have more behavioral issues is because you said he probably has a lower number on the autism rating scale. So he might be between a mild to moderate level of autism, whereas your nephew could be on the moderate to severe. So what that is meaning is when you're not as aware, and I hate to say this.
So when you're more aware, you typically have more behaviors of aggression and non-compliance because you're like, I am about to do this. Like,
because
I
we're
can make a choice.
Socially aware and we're able to manipulate situations. And if that makes sense.
Like one of my highest kids out of 2 schools, I had him do the reading bluebonnet competition, and they had to read 4 books on grade level, and he got a 100 out of both schools. And but he would flip you off,
Okay.
or if you go tell him to do something like, I don't wanna.
Right.
But
So
like,
a lot of
for
times
him,
it's just because
I would let him leave.
their severity level of autism
So-
and where they're at developmentally and
He was so
neurologically.
aware that the only reinforcer I could get for him was all the kids at the end of the day wanted the iPad, but for him, he got to leave my room at 3:00 because that's when all the kids get the iPad. But he would scream like 3:05, no, 3:10,
No.
and he knew that. Twice he stayed to 3:45. Other than that, it was great.
How do you guys deal with that
because
as
he was aware.
educators?
Because
That's
he had
hard.
awareness.
Oh my
It's easier than whining children, I promise.
It is. It is. Because he knew how to process it. I held his paycheck like, you get to leave early, you get to stay with me. Because I'm here to 4:30.
Oh
Now
my
let
goodness.
mom know.
Right. This is our job. So I have to stay here regardless. So you can act like that. And we're still having to,
And in his
I still have to
defense,
stay here.
One
with
time
you.
I did, his behavior was appropriate, if you ask me. He was in a specials class, which is like PE, music, art, right? And so he sat, and see, this is another thing people need to understand as well. He sat himself out. He still looked, this is when he got with me. Low means he'd run out the room. But he got out of the activity and went and sat down. That's a big step from screaming and eloping. Well, this particular teacher got in his face and was like, baby, and he flipped her off with both fingers and he screamed real loud. And then I was like,
She asked for it.
showing aggression toward peers or himself? Was he a harm to others? Was it a safety concern of elopement? I was like, okay, so he needed a break. Let him take that break. Like, what is wrong with you?
He was regulating himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's a big step.
That is huge in a stressful environment where he does not like, where it is loud, and he removed himself appropriately.
I did not get on him.
Those adults and those people
Yeah,
that
you
need
should
that
have.
education, that don't think the way, and I feel like it comes natural to me, to
Me
Audrey,
too.
just
Yeah.
our thought process. It just that's
It's
how
I was
we
like,
think.
I'm like, why would you do that?
Huh?
Oh,
Why would
but
you
people
do
don't
that?
think.
Like, give him space. Like, he removed himself to take a break, and you over here, and he screamed real loud. I was like,
That's the, but you know what? I think the education on children with autism or just any type of special needs type of situation needs to be expressed, not just within law enforcement. It needs to be expressed within, it just needs to be talked about more, especially here within Texas, because the mental health community is not big. There is no particular big, huge help for people that suffer from mental illness, from just any type of.
It's sad. After
Yeah.
22, it's sad. It is sad of what the options are.
Yeah.
And that's why, that
yeah.
early diagnosis and the earlier you can talk about it, the earlier you can get the support, the earlier that you can educate. And that's part of what we do too is, parent training, community-based training. Let's go out. Let me support you. I had a kid that didn't want to go to Home Depot because of the lights and the fans. So they totally they just stopped going. I said, no. We're going. Mm-hmm. So we would just go and we would step in, we would step out. We would step in, we would step out.
Baby steps.
And we would just condition it to be, and it's okay. But parents need that support and know that it's okay because
and feel safe.
Parent, it's hard. It's hard emotionally, it's hard mentally, it's hard every way.
It's hard.
And to have another person there just to help and do what you really know what you should be doing anyways and not just avoiding is a huge thing. And so for us to be able to do that and to help out and to educate these parents on what your kids are actually capable of doing, it means the world because you don't have that. And
that extra support, like insurance, as I call it, like a little safety net. One parent said, she doesn't mind taking her kid out, but it made her feel better and safer knowing that we are there just in case. Just so if there's any behavior, like we said, we correct it in the moment and do naturalistic teaching. And so she said that it's just the fact that we're there too. So if we have an event at Chuck E. Cheese, she's like, I was afraid to kind of take my kid there because what would happen? Is he going to run? Is he going to have a meltdown? What's it going to look like? But knowing that we would be there to support her and him, to her, it made like a world of difference, you know? And so it's a big thing too, just creating that safety net for parents to want to take their kids out. Like she said, they stopped going to Home Depot. One parent wouldn't get their kid's hair cut, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge thing too, is the haircuts.
What we can do, you know, and we guide him through it. And mom was just like, I think he was just playing me the whole time. I'm like, no, it just takes some coaxing and coaching and, you know, we can do it.
Do you guys offer through your foundation, do you guys offer anything that transition? I know it was a brief moment that we talked about adults. So the question is, do you guys offer something from the transition of children to adults and parents that need help in that transition? Because, you know, where children become teenagers become adults. And I think that's something that's
huge.
We do offer that. However, the need hasn't been. So please, if you have a teenager or that age, you know, even just to do social skills for dating. Like I'm so looking forward to it. I already have like the activities to do. But we have worked with adults. I had one adult client. He was in his 30s, and we're working on getting him like independent work skills. And so, and we're trying to think of a job where he didn't have to be as social. You know, what did he do? And so we were working on dog walking. So we were working on making flyers, walk, and getting his stamina up and getting in shape and practicing calling leads. Like, how would you talk to a person that's wanting to walk their dog? Like, these are questions you should ask. And so we role play and give him that practice because, you know, he was obviously, you know, higher functioning. And so it's the social skills, you know. He told me, he helped me make meals for the homeless as well because I was trying to give him like job skills as well. So we make meals for the homeless, and I'd have him help me so that way he can get used to working with people and getting people set. But he told me, he goes, I don't know why your car is so dirty. And I was like, well, I have 3 jobs, and you know, like right now I could be cleaning my car, but I'm with you. He goes, my mom has 1 job and her car is clean. I'm like, I love that for your mom that she has 1 job and that her car is clean, but this is my car.
I do want to say, though, that it's not something that we have yet really fully developed, but it's something that we have really talked about, have done, but not like like what we're looking to doing is, you know, partnering with and getting groups for those transition kiddos that are in between high school and job seeking, or at 14 when they have their IEP meetings for transitionary, to talk about those transition and what that actually looks like when they are participants in that meeting. So we do want to build in that area. And like I said, we're still very new, and there's so many things that we want to do. Right now it's more on an individual one-on-one.
Maria, yes. So we do with adults, it's more on an individual level and not a group level. Yeah.
Right.
But
we want to get there. And the partnerships with some
that would be great.
Community integration is the best word to use for it, where you can have them come out and help you volunteer and do things. I'm actually partnering with one of my friends. Her son is 20, and he has autism. We used to teach him, and we're gonna start making soap.
Oh,
bless it, because I don't know how to make soap. So
I'm more than welcome. I will help you. Furman, help you too. You both can help make soap.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you? Are you located in Dallas?
I am. I'm
gonna hit you up on that. You think I'm playing?
No, I'm serious. Go ahead.
Because my friend was going to show me right here. And I was like, because I'm hands-on, so we're going to do it together, and then I'll do it with you too. The more, like, better, because I do not cook. I'm like, so much less making soap. Like
She can put dishes in the dishwasher though.
I can change diaper. I
And
can
she can change
babysit
diaper?
my kids.
Furman, not the Furman. Furman, what was it that you wanted to ask earlier? Because I know you had something to ask earlier. And
Sorry, a bunch of females taking over.
Nah, you good, because I'm just listening. You know, you gain more by listening. So, I mean, this stuff is very, very important. Like I said, working in law enforcement, we have a lot of individuals come to jail. Majority have a lot of juveniles. We have a lot of juveniles that come, and a lot of them are autistic. And this behavior go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then you guys end up looking at prison for the rest of their life, you know? And
That's why you start early.
what can we do to prevent this?
Early
You know, what can we do
diagnosis.
to really prevent this from happening?
Early diagnosis, because like Lindsay always says, hitting you now at 3, at 4, at 5. When does that become inappropriate? When you go and hit another peer and then you're 15 years old at this point, then you get assault charges. That's why we try to stop the behaviors now. Like, get the help now.
And it's free. There are free programs out there. Just reach out. ECI, like we said, ECI is birth through 3.
I've helped people get on through ECI. I'm like, girl, give me your computer. Let me type it up for you.
Right.
Like, if you need help wording it, I got you.
We can assist on that programming.
How has that changed the availability? I mean, because now it just seems like every time you turn around, every month, there's new laws changing in Texas with this, with that, blah, 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 blah. So with that being said, how has that changed the availability of programs for our children? Have it or have it not?
Wait, what do you mean? Sorry. Explain that.
Like the school? Is that what you're talking more school-based?
Yes, with the school, especially with the promotion of just doing online, getting away from the public system. I can't stand that as well, because a lot of people do not have the concept of
I say keep it apart.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, Medicaid, if you're in with ECI, you get in there. And there are programs that come to your home. If you have Medicaid, programs will come to your home. I don't care if you're homeschool, private school, whatever.
I will set you up with all 3, like the
Yes.
trio. If you need OT, speech, and behavior, like they will set you up. They'll go to
Evaluations,
your house,
psychiatrist.
physical therapy. ECI is like the plug. Like it literally, they will give you. It's like a case manager almost. They will give you.
I can't concern about that, because we did just have someone just leave our house. So,
This is a problem. Sorry. 2 is you have to. The reason I say keep them separate is because you have an educational need and a non-educational need. So when you go get evaluated at school, and say you can access a door, so you can access your environment. But at home, you can't put your own clothes on, or you can't take a shower or whatever. And you know that there's a need, but it's not an academic need. You're not going to be given that service because it's not an academic need. So that's why I'm saying it has to kind of be separate. And I don't think the 2 necessarily, I don't think it's really changed a whole lot, because services are more of a separate type of situation or setting if it's not an educational need. And that's unfortunate, because a lot of kiddos do not qualify because
it's not educational.
It's not an educational need, like toilet training. Well, it's not at some point an educational need.
You can still learn to read.
It's not an educational need. They can type, okay, or they can use whatever. So that's what I'm saying. It is very separate, and state governed and funded programs are where you're going to get the most support, regardless if you're homeschooled, private school, and public school, in those therapies.
Yeah.
And us.
That's like, I was like, and we're the in between the clinic, the school. We're in between the community, like the movie theaters, parks, libraries. We'll go to like the public library when they have like story time, and I will tell people, like, we'll go there and try to help and coach the parents, because if they're like, well, what did I do with story time? You know, my kid wants to get up and run. So we like to do that a lot too. So if you ever want to go to story time with us at public libraries, and someone had a question.
And like I said, we're always at the park. I see that Christopher Rendon has commented. Do you mind if I read that?
Oh, yeah,
go
can you
ahead.
read it?
Okay, it says, I have trouble finding different events or activities to take my son to that he would enjoy or be interested in. Is there any places around Rockwall, Dallas, that are good for kids with autism? Well, I happen to be right next to Rockwall. And that's where we're leading these events. Now, they just opened a gym called We Rock, huh? So we have our fall festival that's coming up that we're partnering, that is going to have sensory friendly stations at it. We will be there, and it is a smaller environment. When you think of fall festivals, and it's just too much, right? We're keeping it small for a reason. We chose the location for a reason. We have Hudden Homestead is a farm that's located in Rockwall, and we have an event on October 15th that will be there. And so there are quite a few places, Chris, to reach out to us. We'll show our information, at the end of the podcast, but reach out, and I would love to, help assist and come to our events, meet us in person. And there are things that you can do over here, but I have also noticed the huge need, because you have areas that are DFW, north of DFW, McKinney area.
That's why we chose this area. We put everything in Frisco, McKinney, Plano, and then we were really geographically, we're small. We want to kind of do this Rockwall, Garland, because what was his name? I can't see it.
Chris.
Yeah, we just 2 weeks ago did Sensory Sunday at Chuck E. Cheese, and we had camp this summer, and we're having camp again.
And we're going to, oh yes, in our summer camps. So we did our summer camps. You don't get the opportunity to send your special needs kids to summer camp. A, it's either far away with people that you don't know. B, it's expensive. And a lot of them are little, or they're just behaviorally, you don't want to be like, hey, by the way, my kid has autism. They're like, okay, click. Just like daycares. Oh, sorry, we can't support that. And so we want the opportunity for kids to go to summer camp, to get to go and experience those typical things, and we're going to have camps over Thanksgiving, over Christmas. And here's, yes, our event calendar. This is our, like I said, the Fall at the Farm, October 15th, is at Hudden Homestead, located in Rockwall. The Fall Festival is at Tree of Life Lutheran Church in Garland. It's literally right across the bridge from Rockwall. And we're starting family game nights at the church as well.
Okay.
Chuck E. Cheese, the first Sunday of every month, they have a sensory-friendly morning. So we are starting to reach out and go to these events, but there's also local parks. So like I said, reach out, and on an individual basis, we can always do meetups too, because we have other parents that are in need.
Yes. Follow our page. We try to post as much as possible, and we'll repost, because I know things get missed and get hidden. But like and follow, and we will post. When you like and follow us, you will see our posts in your newsfeed more often, so you can see the upcoming events that we have and keep up with it. And also, when we do family nights, it's for the parents to have a good time. And also, if your kid likes to run around, scream a little bit, it's okay.
It's a safe environment. Yeah.
They feel like they can't go to a typical bingo or an outing because they don't want to bring their kid, or they're afraid their kid will, I don't want to say embarrassed, but be a burden to other people. So we want to create that as well for the parents, and we'll have a group. We'll have a group staff, trained volunteers to help out. So definitely we look out for the parents as well.
And we also want to take that opportunity to use those older transitional kids, the 22-year-olds, the 20, to help out in those situations, to help either, monitor the kids, play with the kids while the parents are interacting, but know that we're creating this for very teachable moments and education and the sense of community and understanding. Right. So, because when I was thinking about this, I think of ASI, which is a gymnastics place my kiddos go to, and they have like parents' night out. Okay, well, they're not going to accept a kid with special needs that is, and I wouldn't want to send my child there because it's probably utter chaos, and who knows how they would react, right?
Without not appropriate for special needs accommodated.
Yes. So I would like to create something, that would mimic that, so parents can go Christmas shopping and they feel safe to leave their kids in an environment like that.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of our not long term, but like a future goal. Like we would love to host parents' night out where we keep the kids for like 3 hours or so. They can do shopping, take a nap, sit in the car, TikTok.
But it's hard, when you don't trust people. And so developing that community and we just want to be that person, and we want to be that organization that you can trust. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the next level, and we don't have that right now. So
that is
not us, but I mean, just in general.
No, you're absolutely correct. I think a lot of people still don't want to involve themselves with the stigma, or just deal with the situation, or having to
deal with the meltdown.
They don't want to adjust themselves in trying to help children. Or
it's hard and it's hot.
Yeah,
it's not enjoyable. It just makes the outing not enjoyable.
Your blood pressure goes up.
Trying to find a babysitter, trying to find a daycare. We actually had a situation where we were trying to find a daycare for my grandson, and one of the daycares had the audacity.
Oh, many of them.
Put him by himself. Isolate him. I was appalled. I said,
can you elaborate? What do you mean?
So
they put him in a separate room, or
they were talking about putting him in a separate room. He could not interact with the other children.
Is this because behaviorally, or just because he was labeled?
Because he was labeled.
I'm like, if you have a staff to have him one-on-one in the room by himself, then that staff can be one-on-one. But then
they're supposed to be in there.
What?
We were looking at different daycares because we got on different stuff. You mentioned Head Start earlier. So, of course, we reached out to all programs.
Right.
So
it's hard to find.
Well, reach out to us after the show.
I sure will.
Well,
we sure will.
And we support, like I said, I have supported numerous children within that setting at the daycare, so that they are successful within it, because they don't have trained staff. You have to think of and look at it both ways. Like, I'm not going to be liable as a daycare owner if something were to happen, or from my staff or to your child.
And that's how I got into.
And that's unfortunately that's
how I got into behavior therapy, because I had a child that was extremely aggressive with autism, and they were siblings. One was worse than the other, but this one would punch a kid. One girl made her fall. He pulled her hair so hard she fell back. I'm like, what do you do? Oh, wow. And so I came from a speech therapy background in private school, and I was like, I got on Google. I'm like, ABA. Because I kept running into autism. I'm like, this is like she said, I was in a daycare setting, and he was on the verge of getting kicked out because we weren't trained. Like, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know behavior. We know child development. We knew this wasn't right. I knew I couldn't spank him, but
so they're just not equipped. And I can see, I know both ways, like in both sides of it. Is it okay to not be equipped? No, because is the need there? Absolutely. that's another thing. That's where we need to go. That's where we need to head is
Right.
this is real. This is now. And there is a need just
Yeah.
because the kiddos have some sort of special needs and you don't have a facility to support that.
Mhm.
Well, what do we need to do to fix that? Create a
I agree.
facility or create education, you know.
And to piggyback what Lindsay's saying, creating a facility, that's, I always go back to summer camp. I loved it because one mom had actually said that she never imagined that her child could go to summer camp due to his autism diagnosis. And that gave me chills. And it's like, because like she said, those facilities aren't available or equipped, like with parents' night out, makes me want to cry. Parents' night out or camp, like the simple things that we take for granted, you know, and to think that so that's where we saw the need. Like we see that, hey, they can go to summer camp. It may look a little different when we get them young. Maybe when they're older, they can really, go to, but we're inclusive. Like I said, last time it was a third had autism and 2/3 didn't. So it was a very blended group. And
it was so cool to see the interaction, the tolerance from both sides. So you have your kiddos with special needs that have to tolerate and accept, all the noise and the activity and what camp looks like. But then you also have to look at the acceptance and tolerance of your neurotypical kids that are having to understand and accept and empathize and understand these type of kids. And it was the most beautiful interactions that you could have possibly seen. I mean, it didn't have to be coached. It didn't have to be, like we weren't hovering. And we played Duck, Duck, Goose. We played
potato.
And a lot of these kids have never played that before,
They've never, because they have to learn how to do it. And another proud mom moment. She goes, I know he was getting assistance while doing it, but like he's never been able to play Duck, Duck, Goose because like we kind of, I would see me on the video and I'm like hunched over and I'm like having help like Duck, Duck, and it's just that taking that time and knowing that it does work. And like even when we had the Chuck E. Cheese pop up, my nephew, proud auntie moment, like I owe him a gift. But like he played with another peer that was 14 years old, and it was acceptance on both parts because my nephew's told the kid that had autism he wanted to play a certain game. My nephew's like, no, and I was like, kind of like. You don't say no to him, but then I'm like, wait, that's not true inclusion where I just let you get your way just because you have autism, like being your true friend, sometimes you say no. But anyway, so the kid with autism accepted it. And but they ended up playing one of the motorcycle driving games together and they got pictures and stuff together. But
they worked it out and they were able to because we created the opportunity for that to happen in that safe environment. So
I'm glad. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you think that there are so many children?
Don't ask this question.
No,
that's a rabbit hole.
Political.
That's a rabbit hole.
I will just say it was 1994, 1996 when UNT was the first college in Texas to get an autism intervention program. I think it was 94. So if you do the math, more people get qualified and more people are more knowledgeable about it and more people are able to diagnose and the wait lists are better. But that's what I say about that.
Excellent question, because I see a lot of people speak on how now that there are adults that they believe they might have had autism.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
I can think of some classmates.
Yeah, so I was like,
there's an apple tree involved in that too.
It don't even drop; it just dangles.
I mean, you think about it, but it is it's not that it's just all of a sudden. The sad part is in order to get some services like behavioral therapy, speech therapy, you have to have one of the criteria that falls under IDEA to meet and to get insurance to cover those therapies. You have to have an autism diagnosis in order to get ABA. So when you have a checklist, and this is horrible, I'm aware.
We've never done this.
A checklist that is the diagnosis and evaluation. Does your kid do repetitive activities throughout the day. Okay, well, my kid brushes her teeth, she washes her hands. Is that repetitive? So it's all about perspective taking. But if you think about that and you are filling out that form, a lot of kids have autism then, right? However, that's how you get services as well, because insurance will not pay for these services if you don't have that diagnosis.
And sometimes parents are a little bit biased to their own kids. They're like, oh, they can talk. They talked to me the other day. And then they'll play the video or something. And you're kind of like, that's about, I think at 2 years old, the speech is like 60% intelligible by mom. And then by 3, it's 80% intelligible by mom and 75 by others. And so sometimes moms know the grunts or know the screams or know the noise, and so in their mind I think, oh yeah, my kid can talk and tell me what they want, but it's like, and so it's like,
that's why I spoke earlier about what do you how do you convince parents, or what do you say to parents who don't want
say
to
their kids know the alphabet,
that their children need extra help.
No,
I used to just say, I'm like, yeah, have you really talked to the pediatrician, and then they'll ask me, well, do you think they have autism? I'm like, I can't diagnose that, but if it were my kid or my student, I would refer them to UCI, whatever it be. Like if it were my kid, my student, I would be taking data and I would be sending them to the doctor. I can't diagnose because I'm not a doctor, but however, there are signs, and I would refer my kid. I would refer them somewhere.
And like
you guys are willing to help with the application process, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
I have help.
Remember that.
Please. Absolutely, because it is overwhelming, especially when you have what you have going on in your life, and then all these things are thrown at you. Like, okay, there are programs. I need help.
And it's also kind of emotional because they're going to ask you questions that you're going to have to put that your child is low on, and sometimes that's hard, and you want to score them higher because you feel like your baby's getting judged, and it's like, but this is what's going to get them services, and this, you have a suspicion. This is why I don't let your emotions, let you say like, oh yeah, they can do this. Oh, finally, yeah, they kind of do that.
I've had to sit one-on-one with parents and not only have these hard conversations, but look at these evaluation forms. Like, so the school district will send home a packet of all these checklists and whatnot for them to fill out. And then they compare teacher results to parent results, right? Well, we'll have to sit there and look, and I will have to explain to the parents, this is what this means. Because even as an educator, I'll look at these and I'll be like, I'm a little confused, because like sometimes, all the time, occasionally, whatever. And so it's difficult. And then you do want to say like, oh, he did it one time, or he did it this many times. So is that it? But it is hard. And so sitting down with a parent and kind of going through what that actually looks like and what they're looking for, and what, I guess, yes, we do help with that. So let's just put it there. We will sit down with you and go over. And if you have an evaluation, give it to us. We'll go through it together. This is what this means. And parents, you have the right to not sign any paperwork from a school district. Remember this. You don't have to sign any paperwork that says, this is what your kid's going to get. If you don't,
even teachers,
you don't understand, don't sign it.
I think you're absolutely right. I remember my grandson went to 2 different schools. It was a STEM academy that kind of played on the fact that they specialize in helping children and had a program that helped children with autism. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm just giving my personal opinion. I'm not going to name the school.
No. Probably because they like STEM type of activities, like the.
Let's just say I don't feel like the teachers liked my grandson.
I think a lot of those schools are talking about target certain demographics with a special needs population, single moms a lot, I've noticed.
Yeah.
And they definitely have, I don't want to say prey, they definitely have a type they go after usually.
They can talk them into it because it looks good.
Yes, we provide this. No, most people pay money
go
for
to it.
piano lessons. We teach them piano and Spanish at a young age.
And you know what? That's what, convinced. So we're driving way over yonder for that. And I had this
teachers don't have to
conversation
be
with
certified.
my daughter. I was like, he is not learning. It is not sticking with him. I was pissed. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm a big,
you should be.
And you have the right to be.
Oh my God. And my daughter's like, no, Mom, because his behavior is different with her versus me. And I think I get the worst end, but I just think he feels more comfortable. But I get the worst end, trust and believe me. But the school he's with now, which is a public school, I swear, is like his teacher is wonderful. Like sometimes he'll come home and say he don't like her, but he like, I love Miss Carter.
No, that's fine. I kids like, I really don't like that Miss Rowe. Like, cool. My job's not for me to be liked by an 8-year-old. So you can do one worksheet or 2 worksheets.
I know.
Make a choice, buddy.
I don't like her, but then he'll come back the next day
and be like, I love her.
I love her. I love Miss Carter.
And think about the point of view. I've had some parents be like, well, he's not liking coming to school. I'm like, he just got back from summer break playing Roblox. I was like, it's even hard for me to get up.
Yeah, that is the thing. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But guess what?
But so always I think parents too just look at the point of view and stuff. If you're a kid, you can stay at home and have the iPad. You do Roblox. So do you really want to go to school with all the other kids be told what to do? Right? Do the fine motor skills, the do tasks, the walk in the line, follow the rules. And Miss Rowe don't play.
A lot of times it's easier as the parent when the kids throw a fit about going to school to just be like, fine, forget it. Well, you can come either with me or I have the iPad, because I've literally fought my 3-year-old. Physically, I could not leave my house. She was like, I'm telling you, I don't know. What's that movie where she climbs the walls?
Been there, done that.
Okay,
I understand.
I physically could not leave the house, and I had a 4-month-old. Sky was 4 months at the time, and I called my job. I physically cannot get out of my house.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was in tears. I was sweating. I'm like,
it was not enjoyable.
No, and
at all.
I get that. However, we can't just give in. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes it's a loss.
God,
peace of mind, mental health.
I become a give in type of grandparent. It's funny. I never was like
the worst.
As a mom, but I am like that as a grandparent, and I think that's why I get that end of the stick. I guess I don't know.
You do, yeah. It's my
in perspective.
Same thing.
Lindsay's son, he behaves best when I change him. He doesn't even move with me.
See,
He just like still. I'm like, we're gonna change you now. He's like, no. I'm like, we're gonna get changed.
He does alligator rolls with me.
You're gonna put your feet down, and they're gonna stay still.
I'm like, here you go, change my kid.
I think I'll stay still too if you tell me like that.
I'm just like,
you like,
what we're gonna do.
Stay still.
We're gonna sit down, put our feet down on the ground.
So it's nice to have that outlet, that support. So yes.
Grab non-emotion, just calm, change the tone. Me and her were talking about this yesterday. It's just all about your tone, because there was a situation where somebody was driving and they went down a one-way street in downtown Dallas, and another person, A, was like, I think this is a one-way street. And the other person's like, no, and it is. I'm like, yeah. So we just calmly turned around. So that's another thing with de-escalating kids. Like, that situation could have been a lot worse. Like, you're going down the wrong way, one-way street, And so kind of the same thing too with kids with autism and stuff. It's like just keeping it calm. Or just kids in general. Like, but this is what we're gonna do. Put your feet down. Try to have a calming energy, because being escalated and overreacting doesn't make the situation better.
Yeah.
Because she gets to go home at night. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a question. I do have a question. I'm sorry. Yeah. Look, we're having a good time here. How is it with dads? Because I noticed. I'm so sorry, Furman. Look, I feel like
I know. I'm sorry, Furman. I feel like
She's like, I guess I had a podcast.
like a tripod, like the tism.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because
Sorry, Furman. Thank you so
dear to
much,
my
Furman.
heart.
I'm
And so,
sorry.
you know what?
You're welcome.
This is my brother, so like he knows. He's like when I'm
Oh my God, I'm
passionate
so
about
sorry,
something,
Furman.
he knows.
Do you want to
I'm
say?
sorry.
Nah, you good. Nah, you good.
we're all passionate, I guess.
Yes.
Sorry
Yeah.
for being passionate? Question mark? No.
How do you feel about like when it comes to fathers, like the interactions between fathers and mothers, getting help, and how do you? Is there a way that you do you even involve
You
yourself?
gotta find
with
what works
trying
for
to-
you.
It's so varied.
Please.
It's so varied.
You gotta find what works for the two of you, and that's different for everybody.
And there's a very high divorce rate
90%.
Really?
with children with autism or
Or
special
especially,
needs.
Why?
sorry,
Why?
it's
Because
90%.
it's very difficult to maintain a
It
marriage
is.
and
It's hard.
to be on the same page
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
accept that one will accept it and one is support and one's like no,
No.
because
That's
one might not be
crazy.
around as much and they don't see it as
That's
much.
crazy.
But one is completely involved. And I've seen it
One's
time
too
and time
hard
again.
and one's too soft. I had a parent
Okay, what
that was
about
like that.
That's crazy.
Because a lot
I
of
mean,
people
you're
think
gonna have
that it
things
should
that
That's
be
funny that you
your
think it's
kid
crazy.
Let Furman say something. He hasn't said nothing all day.
no, I think that's crazy. Because you
Yeah,
would
no,
divorce
it's-
because
I
of
mean,
your
it
child
happens.
has a special need. That's weird to me. That's so selfish. I mean,
Yeah.
It's and then also the problem is too, if you have other kids, it's like on average, I'm not saying this happens to everyone, but usually they either give all their attention to most of the attention to the kid with the diagnosis, or
Mhm.
they over pour into the other kid because they can go do sports, do this, and that. And so that's a lot of times
They
that's
have to like divide and conquer.
and then a parent will know that's another, yeah. And then like I've had a parent that was overly nice, the mom, and then a dad
Mhm.
was more stern. And so that would cause conflict too. Is it going to find a happy medium, honestly? Like you're not
What do
wrong
you
and
think
you're
from
not
a man's
wrong.
perspective then, Furman? How do you feel about that? Because you're a man. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, you have a child, be there for your child, work there to your child, no matter the circumstances. That's just me. I just
So
see a
you
lot of
Wish there were
parents-
more of you.
Just
Yeah,
listen to the wife.
because I'm just being honest. Let's be real here. Let's keep it a buck. It took two people to make a baby, right? Not just one. It took two people to make a baby.
It took
And
two years cells from two people.
To two, right? Not just one to two, but just to neglect the child because the child has a special need. I don't like that. That's very disrespectful, especially from a man. Like this is your bloodline. This is your seed. And
Right,
for you to
that's
do
your
somebody
job.
that makes you a bitch.
There's so
I'm
many.
just gonna be
It's
honest
just
with
so
you.
easy
They're just-
to separate yourself as
okay,
a
but still
father.
don't deal with it. But the child still gonna be
female.
around. The child still be around. You can't run from that. That's just a bitch ass move. Excuse my
Actually,
friend.
no,
I don't like
female.
stuff
I
like
mean-
that.
I know the female that had two kids, and one, I don't know necessarily her diagnosis, but she was enough to like stay like in a specialized hospital type thing.
Yeah.
And she would only tell people she had one kid and would never go visit that other child. So,
But you know what?
out of sight, out of mind. Granted,
Well, Karma's a
it's-
bitch. So all
if
that
it's
stuff
an
they doing to
extremely
these
aggressive
children.
child and you have other children in the
It's
household, that I've seen that divide a household. But sometimes some cases, some kids are very, very severe where it's a threat to the others inside the household. So you have 3 kids and you have one, and one's a threat to the other 3. And sometimes state hospitals are choices for families like that because they're thinking about their other 3. And it's hard. When you have
It is
kids
hard.
that
Just
wake
being
up
in the
middle of night,
situation.
you
That
have to
is
hide
true.
your knives. You can't have pictures up. You have to double lock your doors. You have to stay strapped. I mean, I've literally seen parents like that. They're afraid that their kid, or I had a friend that unfortunately lived in a group home for a short stint. And he said there was a teenager that lived there. And I think he tried to stab somebody one night for some reason.
Yeah. And, I was just about to mention that, one of the things that we did, and I mentioned this here earlier about helping my my employee I was employed with the sheriff's department, one of the things that we would do is allow adults from the group home to come in and interact with the officers. But some of them were dangerous. Like, they have been in dangerous situations. Like, they have, their parents were either possibly not living anymore, or they could not handle them.
So they had to hospitalize or something.
They had to, yes. And
Safety
so
concern.
were a danger to their parents.
It's
and
sad, but it's true.
Yeah, it is true, because I recall a situation in the news a couple months ago that I read. I mean, it could have happened a little longer, but a situation where a student, I think he was 15, and he literally beat his teacher to death. And so, oh God.
I mean,
yeah, but he did. He literally beat his teacher to death. I mean, he got prison time, and he was.
As he should have.
Yeah, he got prison time. So he was considered autistic, but this was a
but that doesn't make it okay.
He was a huge boy.
When is it appropriate to stop hitting? Because it's like, look, he didn't get corrected when he was younger, and he beat up his teacher. So at 3, you're beating people up. 4, beating people up.
He was triggered, and I remember his mom really tried. It was an adopted mother, but it doesn't make a difference to me, because I could tell that his mother actually gave him love. She loved her son. She didn't treat him differently, but she still wanted to protect her son, and she used the thing that he got triggered because the teacher tried to take his video game.
And that's why we need to teach replacement behaviors, or understand if that's a trigger for us.
Don't bring it to school.
Or we have to figure out ways to
do it.
How to take it from them.
When you're mad about it getting taken away, guess what? I'm going to take it away more frequently.
Yep.
She took it away
in a controlled environment.
And you say, please, and then take it, please, and then eventually you delay it.
That's something that could have been prevented, but a lot of times that takes education on the parent, experiences, and opportunity for the kid to get services.
And like Lindsay said, you got to practice it, and you got to know someone that knows it, like interrupt it, and he can ask for it quickly, like just please, or maybe even tap you. That's better. It
goes back to ABA therapy. Yeah. That one-on-one.
Right, so I want to say, so there are places for parents. So there are programs for parents to help along with this, right?
Yes.
We're trying right now to get a grant to do a parent training, hopefully in February. But I got to call SAM.gov tomorrow.
Very costly.
We're really trying to get that grant to do a parent training, and it will be hands-on and like a little lecture, and then hands-on and practices. So you can have those questions then and there.
And
so, they
we'll plan on having like a BCBA there, which is someone that has their doctorate level, in behavior.
It's Connie. I'll put her information on a video.
And we work with her and get all these resources together to provide the information for these parents, whether it be therapy for just marriage counseling, whether it be, because I know that my pastor would be willing to provide that, and knows of another nonprofit that does parent and counseling for couples with special needs children, because that's a huge thing.
Yeah, that's important.
And so we would love to do these events every other month with these parent trainings, and then get on.
Need to be there.
Yeah, but it is something that is very costly that we need to.
Yes, that's hence the reason why my daughter came back home. So that is something she knew she needed help with, especially since she's a young woman. She's trying to still get help. She is trying to pursue her career in medicine, and so she's like, I need help. So I don't know if his dad understands as much as my daughter does. I'm talking about my grandson's father.
Yeah.
Because I just, and I see the way he interacts. He loves his son. He interacts with him just but he doesn't. I don't think he.
Just like I said, what's love earlier, like what's true inclusion, you might not like you want to engage, but what does that look like again? So you can love.
I'm gonna say this. Well, I'm gonna say this. I remember saying that he had autism, and he told me, "No, he doesn't, Miss Hall."
Right.
No, he doesn't.
Because
I
we
was
might
like-
not know what autism actually is. We just know the word.
I was like, yes, he does.
And it
Well,
might be a
awareness.
connotation that he doesn't like,
Yeah.
you know, that goes along with autism.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
it's
example,
his first son, so I think
And
it
that
made a
too.
difference.
We don't have anything to compare it to. When you have
Exactly.
siblings, or they go to a school and you can kind of see, or around family members, you can kind of see what other kids look like in the interactions. But when you don't have that, and the parent or the father is working and they just have that interaction with
Their
own
kid, no
child,
child development background. It's
mean,
just their
it's
kid.
kind of an
you're
ignorance
onto something.
thing.
I think you're
You
right.
know, like
Yeah.
what else are they supposed to know? You know, so
They only have one kid to compare with, but thankfully, you know, my husband, me, and my daughter, we, you know,
Wow.
it was
He's
something
lucky
that
to have you guys.
we knew. Yeah. So
I was gonna say
yeah.
that is a
Really
very
happy
lucky
guys.
situation
Yeah.
because
That's
not
amazing.
everybody has that
That's
support.
amazing.
But so we really want to get everybody involved in our social outings so that we can build this community and we can provide those safe environments where the parents feel safe and comfortable in going out to these public, you know, places so that their kids can engage in typical activities and have those socially appropriate I guess exchanges, whether it be,
And
you know,
these typical exchanges now transition to typical functioning adults. So it's important to work on this now because it ties into like that juvenile you said to be his teacher to death. You know, you don't want to be that. So it's like creating those engaging moments now with their typical peers and picking up those behaviors, learning that you can take your child out in public and to get through it, how to work through it. And, you know, we want them to be functional adults. We don't want them in prison. We don't want them shot by the cops, you know, that we want them functioning and be the best that they can be.
And that's, you know, I've always taught the little ones for the most part. And I've had to have conversations with parents that say, you know, hey, what happens if something happens to you? Because they're so attached to you. What would happen? Would they go to a home? What would they go to a grandparent? They don't have anything. If they don't have the ability to meet their basic wants and needs by communication, where are we at?
They need an independent task.
You have to think about that.
Because even if you do go to a group home or another family member, are they really going to scrub you and do all that? Like you need to at least learn how to take care of yourself at a basic level.
I can tell you from experience, from that group home that I experienced, they were
no, I know. I have a client that,
you know, I didn't, you know, everybody was so respectful of the people from the group home, thank God. But yeah, I could tell that they, you know, they tried their best, but because it's hard. You had so many adults. It was like 26.
Oh,
26 adults.
Well, I knew of a group home that wasn't that great, and my client, I got her out of that group home, and she's in a really good one now. The other one's under investigation. It's like closed.
So many of them are.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, that is sad. So we're creating the now.
What you say,
You're right.
Changing.
Because they began to abuse. I not seen a TikTok video. It was a child that had autism, and he was in a daycare, and they had video of the child being abused and everything, and the child was dead, and they tried to attempt to cover it up.
Well, and
That's
if
good.
the kid cannot communicate, that was my biggest thing as a teacher before I had kids is, look, I know your kid can't tell you about their day, right? When you ask them, what'd you do at school today? They're not going to tell you. So if they got abused on camera, they could easily cover it up because they're nonverbal or they're not able to express that.
That's so scary.
On the flip side,
that's why I was saying, because when they in these environments like the daycares and the schools, and these people don't have no patience at all, and they just mistreating these children, abusing these children. It's sad. It's scary that you don't even want to. I don't have any children.
On the flip side, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I don't have any children. It makes you want to think, do I want to bring a child into this world?
I was there. And I tell Audrey all the time, are you sure? Are you sure?
I don't know. I have 3. So, I
have 3. I was 1 and done.
Yeah, 3. She said I was there. When?
But because I'm just saying, because there's so much stuff to consider when you bringing a life into this world and better sit and be with that person that you have a life, you have a child with, to better sit and talk about these things.
The media chooses what we see. So it may seem like it's happening more often, but that was like one isolated incident. And like, yes, the possibility is there, but to me, more likely than not, you're gonna have like good workers, or most of the time. You can usually tell. Because I've seen situations like even me when I was a teacher, a parent would be like, hey, my kid has bruises on their knee. And it's just like, don't most kindergartners fall down? But like, it was almost like they want.
I'm glad you brought that up.
They started off in a negative. You know what I mean? And I even like Googled abusive bruises. I was just curious. I'm like, it's not even in a spot.
They would put them in places that if that was abuse was the case, it wouldn't be a noticeable spot.
On the knee.
Right. Like, and also the pediatricians will bring up the point where if your kid doesn't have any bruises and they're 2 and 3 years old, that's neglect too, because you're not providing experiences for your kid to be out in the out. Because but you don't want to have, like I said, you don't want to have handprints, but you want them to be able to experience. Because I had a girlfriend who brought their child to the pediatrician and was like, the kid has no marks, is he allowed to play? And the doctor was truly concerned.
Really?
Yes.
So you can see it as both ways.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. Yeah.
Such an important part of development with climbing and swinging and the playground structure.
But you just have to, again, you still have to be aware of, okay, where's my child at? Who are they with? What is going on? Asking questions is not anything bad. I mean, always ask.
Seeking for clarification.
Go ahead, Furman.
So let me ask you this. I want to say this too. So I'm looking at parenting is changing now. I think it's evolving now because the more information that we're getting. Because growing up as a child, we talk about things. We always used to get hollered at, yelled at when we asked the question, and that really done something. And lingering on to our adulthood. So now I'm glad now that we are humbling ourselves and getting this information to learn how to be better with better parenting skills. Does that make sense? Because we want our children to be, we're supposed to be a safe place for our children where they come to tell us stuff that's bothering them, what it's, make sure it's, but nobody talk to them like, hey, let us know if somebody's mistreating you, if they're touching you inappropriately. These kind of things that we need to talk about and our children become a safe place instead of yelling at them and hooping and hollering, because it's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, because
autism is hard. I don't even know what's socially appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say? I'm sorry, Audrey.
I said with autism, it's even harder because they don't know what's socially appropriate, because at the core of it is a speech and social disorder. So, they may go up and hit your butt, and you have to teach them, like, no, you can't go hitting my butt, like hands down, so they don't know what's socially inappropriate, and so they camouflage a lot, especially girls. So they'll adjust to the group that they're around and blend in and camouflage. And so because they don't have their own identity technically, and they don't know what to do socially, so they'll blend in with the group that they're with. And so
if I can answer Chris real quick, he said, that was his biggest fear, his mom's biggest fear.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was my biggest fear as then a parent as well. But also, like I said before, a nonverbal child could be a typical child or not, being 2, 3. I have a 2-year-old right now that's at school. He can't tell me what he did today. He can't tell me if he got hit. He can't tell me, And that was how I looked at teaching, was I'm going to overshare the information and develop that relationship with the parent, because I want them to trust me. And if something were to happen, I want them to be able to come to me or us to have a conversation about, hey, this is what happened, and not have any sort of question
But as a parent, Chris, I would make my presence be known from the beginning and not be. I'm not saying go in there large and in charge, but and be rude. But like go to
Be an
that
advocate for your
tonight.
kid.
Yeah.
Go
Questions.
go to that meet the teacher night. Maybe even type up a little blurb about what you notice about your child, things that works and stuff, and just show them that you're involved. And I'm not saying be mean, but just show that you make your presence. Like, this is my kid. This is how he is. You know, go in there and ask him questions. And I'm not
Involved. Be involved in your
Right.
child's
I agree.
education. Be involved
even
with the
before
people
the
they're
teacher
around.
asks you to. And then I'm not saying that. Anyway, she'll make sure the teacher is smart. Most teachers are smart, I'm assuming. They will dot their I's and cross their T's when they know that you're involved, you know? And,
Oh, yeah.
and they should do
That is
that
true.
anyways. But when they know that you're involved, they're going to make, I feel like they would make even more sure that you're taken care of. It's like, I met this parent, I know they checked in, I know this and that. I need to keep that, like, I know it works both ways, but when you, as a teacher, yes, you should open up that line of communication. As a parent, you can be the first one to start it.
I think it's human
Yeah.
nature, though.
I
When you
noticed
know that people are involved, it
what did my
happens.
kid do
Human
today?
nature.
If they have any behaviors, what, like, you reach out and ask the questions if you have to.
I feel like
Yeah, I
I'm that
agree.
extra parent now, and I am that. I was ready to have a 504 on my pre-K 4 kiddo. Okay. I know she has ADHD. She wasn't diagnosed until I made them diagnose her last year through the school and the pediatrician. I was the one that suggested it. I mean, I have ADHD. My husband has ADHD. She's
You
a
do.
sensory seeker. She's had,
Right.
all these things. And I am very aware, and I am, at least I know, and I am going to try all these things. Now, coming from a teacher perspective, I'm like, oh gosh, it's that mom that thinks she knows everything, like, okay, because you have those.
I like those moms.
You have those teachers that are like,
What's that, mom?
gosh, that mom
Nobody was
again.
sick of me.
But I'm
I like those moms. I'm like, girl, I'll come over to your. I'm like, girl, you having problems at the park? He's not aggressive anymore. I get it at tutoring at 5:30. I'm gonna pull up and show you. And I really just kind of start, right? I did help a kid like about 5 times. I go to the park and I would tell mom what to say because he was beating her up, driving down the park. I was like, cause a wreck. I was like, he's not that way at school anymore. I was like, let me show you. And I literally be like, tell him. So the demands came through her and not me. And so that way, because when I leave, then he's gonna he only listened through me. But yeah, it's like, no, it makes a full circle and kind of go back to that, if I like it when parents are involved that way, like they call me like he's hitting and I'm like, he's doing what? He hasn't been hitting for 3 months at school. What do you mean?
Why is
So,
he getting down? Yeah.
definitely be involved because I was excited. I'm like, girl, and this was summer 2022. And it was really hot. It was 100 degrees by May. And I went to
Listen, listen. We know you run hot, girl.
Oh, I mean, I'm the same way. Look, I'm the same way. I'm an
She's like, I don't want to go to the park. I'm like, listen, Linda.
luckily I've been
older
coming
than
towards
you.
the end.
We're
Let's
going
go
to
ahead and
the
start that timer.
No,
Oh,
but
so
yeah,
let me ask-
yeah, go ahead, Furman.
Let's go ahead and finish. I just want to add that too about the balance. I know you have a lot of parents would say, "Well, I work a lot," so that the child is being neglected. So, how do we bring in balance from work life to
That's a good question.
raising
That's
our
hard.
children? Because we know
It's
I
hard.
think, yeah.
I'm gonna
I
tell
think
you,
that comes for
my
every
husband.
parent because every parent is different.
Well,
I'm going to
my
hire
husband
a
works-
nanny while I'm not even working.
My
That's
husband
my
works
plan.
all the time, and he's an athletic coordinator and athletic trainer for Dallas ISC. Now, he's non-existent. Basically, football season, his schedule allows him to be home early one night out of the week, and he works Saturdays. So, and this is how it's been for a long time.
So she
I
would
end
see
up
a
being
mom
a
at
single mother,
nighttime.
and I lose a lot of the times when I
Yeah,
know better
me
what I
mom
should do,
sometimes.
but I have to reach out to my village
Yeah,
because,
a village.
yeah,
support.
so I have to have the support. And the reason I left teaching was because it was either my mind or my job. Because I had a 6-year-old,
That's a topic.
a 4-year-old, and almost
Right.
2-year-olds.
I said, am I
All
one
by
losing my
myself,
mind?
working
Or
full-time as a teacher, special ed.
So
I was a teacher, go crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even have kids.
and
And
that's a whole nother
financially, is it hard?
Yeah.
topic. But
Yeah.
I did wanted to say something about Christopher's.
Go ahead.
Oh, were you saying something from? I'm sorry because my screen is kind of glitching. So you guys kind of like no seriously, you guys will be at a standstill and it's like nothing. So I think it's my internet. But that's so sweet. Okay, the village gets smaller when you have a special needs.
It does, and that's
True.
sad. That just means
True.
reach out more. Reach out.
That's
You can
true.
do it. There are people there that are in that same situation. Know that.
Yes. But you are not alone because Ms. Hunt, let me tell you, there are
Foreman, what are you trying to say?
I would just say it takes a lot of planning, and I'm just getting out.
Logistics.
Well, I'm getting out the whole
are a
thing today. It takes a
nightmare.
lot of planning. No, just a
lot.
lot of planning. Like, hey, it takes a lot of planning and not just
Intervention
going
plan.
nothing blind.
It takes energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that you
looking at.
don't have.
Yeah, that's what I'm right. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at planning, structure, working together. I do believe in that. It takes two people to make a thing work.
It does.
You really have to work
So, Chris,
together.
I work full time.
Okay.
I work full time, own a business. It's very hard. I have a small but great support system, and mom works from home, so it's very helpful. Wouldn't know what to do if we didn't have. That's nice. So
And
that's awesome.
But
it's hard for his
That's
mom.
also
I'm
why
sure. Like,
I kind of one of many reasons why I was teaching
But-
as well.
Go ahead.
When
Right.
I had kids, I wanted the energy and availability because I couldn't do both. And then also, I was from train of thought. It takes what we do now. I see the meaningful impact and I see the need, and no one's doing it. And so, I mean, as like what we're doing, like to meet us.
Oh, sorry, Crystal. I taught her child for a hot second. In Crystal Hunt, and she said the village gets smaller when you have a child with special needs, and she knows her child is amazing. She is an amazing mother, and she works full time. It's hard, and she comes in with a smile on her face. And
it's better
she
than
dresses
me.
her kid up on all the theme days, and she gives the best teacher gifts, and she is on top of it.
Thank you.
Exhausting.
I love that she does it with a smile. I'll do all that, but without a smile. Like, look, it was a rough
She's
morning.
divorced.
There you go.
She's
Sorry.
divorced and a
Good
single
luck.
mom of a child that just started
Mhm.
kindergarten with autism. So
wow.
she's amazing though. Crystal, you're amazing. So
Well, big shout out to Crystal. Big shout out to
Yeah.
her.
Yes. I
Because
mean, I think as a mother in general, as a parent, it's hard enough to raise children.
Mhm.
So so when you have a special needs child, man, it's harder, and I only know this experience through my, through secondhand motherhood, so to speak, because I'm a grandmother. So I'm not, oh, that's sweet, Chris. Oh, that's sweet. Look, shout out to teachers. Look,
yeah, she's
so
wonderful.
yeah, so it makes a big old difference, and because I didn't deal with that with my children, I didn't know how it was a different, even though I could recognize it was a different experience. So I can only imagine
Different.
what I would have
Different,
felt like had my children needed that additional help and needed all that attention, because I was full time. I mean,
Did you work?
I worked full time. I coached. I went to school full time. I just didn't have the time, and I relied heavily on. I was everywhere. My kids were with me, so I can't imagine how it would have been had I had one of my children like my grandson.
You know,
I
they
would
always
not have been that way. I'm just being honest. I would have to have adjusted.
well, and they always say, like I always say, how do people do it with 5 and 6 kids? You just do. Like when I was one and done, you don't have a choice.
Man, you're not one and done. You have 3.
You're on autopilot. And like whether it's a good or bad thing, you just do it and you don't really think about it because you got to do it.
All right, because days like Saturday when I was with you guys for 28 hours, I'm like, what did we do? Like, it's like, oh, like you just gotta get an autopilot. You do this. I mean, we make a great team. I'm like, let me go ahead and get the bottle ready. Do this, do that. Like, just pick up and go. And then you're just like,
because sometimes she inputs where my husband does not because
girl,
he's not
you didn't say
here.
that.
No, but no, because he's not here.
You're her
Do it.
village, ma'am.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Oh, yeah.
You're
He's
her
not
village.
here, so that's why, yeah.
Right. And it's so nice, like I said, to have that village, to build that village. And everyone has a situation going on. So
Yep.
Yeah.
no one is alone. We just have to reach out and connect.
Yeah.
I
It's finding
did want
village.
to say something about, and I'm gonna go back to Christopher's comment because I wanted to get your opinion on it. And maybe I was just overreacting about you didn't know if things were happening in school. So I remember, I don't know, it was just weird. So my grandson, out of the blue, my husband and I were in the same space, and he wanted us, like, he was like, Granny, you got to show Papa love and go ahead, give him a kiss. I was like, why would you say that? Like, I've never heard him say that. So I was like, huh? Give him a kiss? What do you mean give him a kiss? And, you know, in my mind, I'm just like, is someone trying to kiss you? Like, what's going on? So,
You know, my kids
saying
watch
that.
on Bluey and they're like, Mom, you need to romance Dad. And I'm like, romance? What are you talking about? But that totally came from Bluey.
With autism as well, you don't know what's socially inappropriate. So you see that and like, oh, that's why, you know, like,
no, he hasn't
like
seen
Grand
nothing.
Theft
So
Auto.
I'm just like, what? Where you learned that from? I mean, not from me. So I'm just like, where are you learning that from?
Yeah,
So,
it could be from, it doesn't necessarily, like, I had a kid that watched Grand Theft Auto or played Grand Theft Auto, and then he started stomp curbing my kid's head on the ground.
Really?
And so anyways, he'd stop playing that game. But you can simply learn it from things just as watching. No one's doing it to him. And my point is no one was beating him up or anything like that. He just saw it and thought he'd try it.
and you might be right, but I don't know. When he first said it, it had me up in arms. I was like, so I called my daughter. I was like, oh yeah, come here.
They observe. They watch everything.
Oh, they do.
And they
do.
listen to everything.
Even
And I keep
simple
telling you,
movies too.
they everything.
Does
they
he
take
have
it in.
echolalia?
Huh?
Does he have echolalia?
I'm not really. I don't.
That's kind of
Your grandson?
repeat script or scripting. Where
Oh
they
no!
repeat scripts really.
Yes.
Like the same thing over and over and over.
Yes, he will over and over.
So sometimes that's it too, just really repeating a script. Like
And
yeah,
it's a feel good.
Yeah.
It's like a automatic feel good to them. They just like
And
to
he
say it.
li-
But
What's
I
up
can't
with the
say that.
lying? What's up with the lying? The manipulation. I know you mentioned that he can be very manipulative too, because he was like, "Oh, Papa said, Granny don't love you anymore." I was like, "Excuse
And
me."
they also take everything black and white. So if they hear things, you have to take that
Oh,
with a
I
grain of
laughed
salt.
at it, but
But it
still,
makes-
I'm just like, where did they?
but no, they'll play you against each other. I had a kid that brought money to school, and mom and dad were arguing because mom's like, "You didn't give me all the money," and he's like, "Yes, I did." And then here she is with like $300 or something.
Teachable moments right there.
Very teachable.
That's it.
Yeah.
Teachable moment. I love it. I love it. Teachable moment.
But I had a great time talking to you guys.
Yes,
I can't believe
I
we've been
know.
on this long. I only want to get off because I'm hungry. I don't want to eat on camera. But
Well, and hey, listen, thank you guys for participating. We appreciate all the information that you guys have given us. It is way more than what I knew prior to stepping into this. I love that you guys have this teaching background because it's so important for our children, and you guys are doing something that is going to help our community and our children. So, and this is coming from me. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you speak on it as well. But if there's any event that you guys are having, we would love to come out. That'd be great.
Please do.
Like I told you, I am willing to help you teach your folks how to make some candles.
And bring your grandson, bring your nephew.
Oh, he would love it. He would love it.
I mean,
yeah.
like I said,
I will. I'll bring all my
open to everything.
I'll bring all my grandkids for you.
There you
yes,
go.
exactly.
The more the merrier, right?
So, but towards the end, go ahead and please just, announce just kind of an overview of who you are and everything that you do? Furman, did you have, you want to say your, hello, Furman?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you. Can you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, but it did me.
He's like, you've been ignoring me the whole time.
No.
I just know.
Nah, y'all good. Much love to y'all. Much love and respect to y'all. I know this Saturday we're gonna be at the Colorful World of Cancer. This coming Saturday. It said men speak out about cancer. We got invited by Mrs. Jones. That's something she's over. So we're gonna be doing some interviews out there this coming Saturday. It's gonna be at 213 North Race at Everman, Texas. I hope I said that right.
Everman.
And it's gonna be at 12 p.m. So that's 12 p.m. It's called The Colorful World of Cancer. Men speak out about cancer.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That sounds sad. I was like, you know,
but these are people that survived. They gonna share their stories, and me and Lo got the opportunity to interview these cancer survivors on their own site there this coming Saturday. So I was sending information, so y'all come out and check it out. So about getting out there in the community. That's what's coming Saturday. I know Sunday we're gonna be doing another show Sunday, right? No, we got a show Sunday, right? We're gonna do a conversation this coming Sunday, so be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
So
I'm like, sorry, I'm moving my computer because I'm looking at my calendar.
You sent me a flyer.
Yeah, I did.
The kids my phone got washed in the washing machine, so
that's for Audrey. It's good. We're good.
So anyway,
yeah, I did.
The cancer, and he sent me another flyer, and I was like, I think I can go to that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I see the flyer. I got it. I could send it to you, and that's gonna be this coming Saturday. So we're gonna be out there this coming Saturday.
Do you want to put the events up, or hold on?
Yeah. Share the event. Yeah, I know she's. Share y'all events y'all got coming up.
I got it
next month.
Okay.
Yeah, Lindsay, you can talk. The first one coming up with the farm.
While you're bringing it up, we have just for the fall, and this is just for now. Our North Texas Day of Giving. That helps us a ton with the ability to set up camps, give us money to have parent trainings, to do all the things. And so we're really promoting our North Texas Day of Giving. Go to the that website and look up RAAVE DFW.
Is it still showing?
It's I don't see it.
Okay, I got it. Hold up.
You got it.
Thank you.
There, you about to get it come up. There you
Perfect. Go. And then October 15th, we know October is a busy month, but October 15th is a Wednesday. A lot of people have fall break. So we're doing fall at the farm. We're starting at 10 a.m. It says till 5. That's just until they close.
We're going to be there from 10 to 12.
Right. So, but enjoy it. It is one of the coolest places hidden in Rockwall. And there's a big pumpkin pillow. When I say big pumpkin pillow, I mean the size of my house.
Oh, wow.
Inflatable to jump on. There's hay rides. There's hay slides. You get to go in with the goats and the rabbits and the cows, and they have camels, and it's actually at a family's home where they started very small, and now it's like they have all this very cool sensory. They have a corn digging, like a pit instead of a sand pit. They have a taco truck and snow cones, but it's very secluded and very calm as well. So we have a link that you can register for a discounted rate. You can also volunteer there. And again, that will be on our page and also in our feed. And then on the 18th, which is a Saturday, we're partnering with Tree of Life Lutheran Church for their fall festival. We'll be bringing a foam party, basically. And we'll be providing sensory items and sensory rooms where they can go in If it's too overstimulating or too hot, we can provide headphones or a location to go to calm down. And this is where we've hosted our camps at too. And we're really working with them to build community. They've been great with us.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Mark. You're probably not watching, we're busy, but
yes. And then again, we're gonna try our first family game night. And that's gonna be more of those, hey, bring your family, let us play with the kids and do family stuff with the kids or games with the kids and maybe bingo with the adults. And I put to be determined just because I know November, again, is kind of a busy month with Thanksgiving. The fall is kind of back to back to back to back to back.
Well, they can't appreciate the day camp more.
But yes,
over break versus.
We'll have other pop-ups. Reach out. You want to go to the park? Let's go to the park. Harry Myers is a great park in Rockwall. Sunnyvale Park's a great park. There's great parks in Plano. Reach out to us and we'd love to just do social meetups and help you guys out. So follow our page and you'll see more to come. And we can't wait to, get to build our community. And I like I said, this is our passion. And I think I was born with this passion, and so is Audrey. And
yeah, it's great. We both had like the same idea, and just
that is beautiful.
Yeah, bring your kids.
Yes,
especially to the fall event. And you guys. So I heard there was a correction in the time. You said from 10 a.m. to
so it's open from 10 to 5. However, we're going to be there at 10. And we're not going to say we won't be there the whole time, but you guys are more than welcome to be there the whole time. Because I have kiddos that are in school.
I want to come and meet you guys.
Exactly. So we will be there at 10. And
we'll do the flyer.
On the flyer, just 10 a.m.
Actually, we do have a flyer. It's just 10.
Yeah, so we'll get that back out
and
there.
And the earlier the better, because there's less people there. The longer you wait, the more people wake up and show up. That's why we chose Wednesday. It's a calmer day, because most people Saturday, Sunday is booked.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we did this with good intentions. After 12, people woken up out of bed slowly but surely. So 10 to 12 is a good time, and that way your kids can go home reset, and it's not so busy. No one, it's less people first.
But again, it's on a Wednesday during a fall break. So we're hoping,
and we got the time for 10, actually, I have to say that. We booked it as like a field trip. So that way they won't overcrowd it.
Okay.
So there's that. So
yes.
You do want to come to 10.
And like I said, there is a link to register through a Google form to get our discounted rate. And so we know the number of participants. And we're super excited about it because I've been taking my 7-year-old, who's now 7, since she was, I think, 3 is when they opened, and they were just
I think because there's a lot of speech and teachable moments, like soft, hey, I don't know. I use so much vocabulary, opposites.
My 2-year-old loves the rabbits. Oh, sweet. So, hey.
We'll do animal sounds for nonverbal kids. Like, what sound does that animal make?
I don't know what sound does a rabbit make, but
right. I always say that. What does a turtle say? And he'll look at me like,
I don't know.
The turtle one got me stuck. The rabbit.
But yes, so those are our planned events. And like I said, just keep going through our feed, participating, like our page.
We're trying to do 2 a month. That's what we're trying to do, hold ourselves to it. And with sponsors and more volunteers and stuff, we can get up to 3. But like I said, the libraries as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much. This was great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I'm glad we were able to have you too, so you can give us like a different point of view. So
thank you guys for coming on the show. We really appreciate you guys. We encourage everybody to subscribe to our podcast. The JustSayN Podcast is on YouTube. We will start broadcasting live on TikTok and other platforms as well. Hopefully by the time we get out there to your event, we'll be able to go ahead and just do that. Because we are still in early phases. Furman has a Walking His Ways podcast that he's been doing. So this is a very new podcast for us as well. You know, so
we're all in the same boat together.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we can
it is.
learn and network and connect. Go
Yes.
get you some lunch.
Yeah, hey, that's it. We appreciate y'all. We do. We thank me and Lo do thank y'all for coming on here, taking time out y'all, but just scared to talk about y'all, what y'all doing. It's awesome what y'all doing. This is a new learning experience for all of us. So y'all ladies keep up the great work and what y'all do, man. This is awesome because this is something y'all need to learn and know to get better. Right? We're in the business of getting better. So
Yeah.
I love it. Y'all keep up the great
We're
work.
with kids. How can we challenge ourselves? Oh, start a nonprofit.
It'll be easy, they say, right? No.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Y'all have a
All right, thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
All right, see you soon.
All right, yeah. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, all right, get ready. Time out. And we are